Hello and welcome to Finger Thinking, a channel dedicated to analog productivity and creativity tools. Okay, so today we are going to look at this Princess 300 that I have recently required. So recently, it was only this afternoon. This had been floating around on Marketplace for months and months and months, and it was one of those things where the woman who was selling it clearly had no idea what she was talking about, because this started out at $300. It doesn't have a case. It probably doesn't work yet. I've literally brought it home and stuck it on a table. So this is as much as I know about it. And so she's looked online, seen one that's going for $300 and gone, oh, mine must be the same, even though, yeah, no case. This isn't sitting down properly. I hadn't put that down properly. The keys are sitting all kind of funny and sitting up. They don't work. They're all sticking. Someone's played with this at some point and pulled the insulation out from here. Yeah. So it doesn't seem to be rusty at all, which is good, because the woman I bought this from, her place overlooked the ocean. So anyway, it certainly hasn't been sitting there rusting away. It's on the base of, these have an integrated case. So the base is the bottom of the case. The top of the case is missing. I felt all sorts of kind of grit and crud fall out when I tipped that upside down. So we'll definitely be getting the blower out on this one. But yeah, so look, bit of a challenge. I get to learn. Hopefully you guys will get to learn as well as we go. This is my third Princess machine, and sorry about the noise in the background. My dog can't settle down and sleep when I'm filming videos. She has to fuss. So this is my third Princess machine. I did a review on the Princess 500 a few weeks ago. I'll link that up here. That turned out to be a pleasant surprise. It was a pretty functional looking machine. Like these Princess 300s are much more attractive. So this is my second 300. I do have this in red, but I've bought that one and played with it. I haven't done a review on it, but it is also in much better condition than this one. So I now have the same machine in two colors, because I like to have, if there's a variety of colors, I like to have all the colors, which becomes problematic when you run out of room. But here we are. So yeah, so fortunately, because I have one of these that is in working condition, if I have any kind of issues that I can't figure out just looking at it, then I do have a reference machine, which can be really, really handy. So let's see if I can figure it out on my own without getting the reference machine out, because there's a pride element in this, let's face it. But if not, then I can refer to that there. All right, so just sitting here playing with this, the carriage return lever is loose. So I don't know if that's in a travel position or what. There doesn't seem to be, it just doesn't feel right. So my pride might be getting a bit of a beating straight off the bat as I go and pull out my other one to see what that should look like and where that should sit. But otherwise, this machine looks like all that's wrong with it is it's just pretty filthy. So look, it's had a bit of wear. So that's just carriage return lever scraping, I think. Whenever you see paint missing in that spot on a machine. Oh, it's okay. So maybe someone else has actually had a go at this, because that's missing a screw. And that's missing a screw. Yeah, rightio. Okay, I don't tend to pay a whole lot of attention to these before I get them. I just go, oh, they're only a few dollars. This is $30. So let's try it. Rightio. So this could be interesting. Okay, maybe, because there are no screws over here either, so maybe I haven't got the bargain that I initially thought I had. But still, fortunately these screws are still here. So, yeah. Okay, that may also be why this top isn't sitting properly, if all of this is, there we go, able to come off straight away. Right, well, at least it'll be easier to blow out. All right, we'll just check and see if the carriage, we can see that the keys don't move, they all stick, that needs a flush. Does the, oh, okay, well the carriage works, well, that's good. That's a pleasant surprise. The carriage moves, but it certainly doesn't seem to be connected to the keys. Wow, we have some work to do on this machine. All right, well, let's get into it and start by just giving it a blowout. Okay, and we're back with the trusty CompuCleaner. Oh, maybe I need to give this a bit of a clean out actually. I've only used this half a dozen times. I think it's amazing. But yeah, obviously it does collect dust in this filter. So if you do buy one of these, they just come off Amazon and this one was $100, then that needs to be cleaned out every so often. Yeah, wow, the amount of dust that, oh my gosh, I should be wearing a mask or something. So much dust just came out of that. Okay, so that's all the surface dust gone. Yeah, the first thing that we really need to do is fix or address this dropped carriage return lever, because I can't move the carriage any further to the right whilst this is dropping down. All right, this is, pride be damned, I am going to go and pull out the red one straight away and see where this should be sitting. Okay, so I've gone and dug out the red Princess 300 and we can see that the lever here, let's just move this out of the way a little bit more, center stage for the red one. So the lever comes when it's in its kind of packed state, because it comes in the case. The lever is pushed in here, right? Springs out, and then you can tip it up. So this is the position that I need to get this lever into. And I think this might be a little bit of a challenge, but at least I can have a look and go, I can check in here and make sure that I have all of the right bits. And then, okay, excellent. I can already see what is going on. So let's just get this out of the way. All right, so first observation is that this spring, this little kind of, the end of the spring here, needs to go into this hole. I've got my magic pointer, so this spring here needs to go into this hole in here. So I'm like, that's step number one. Let's see how we go with that. Okay, so the spring went in, but we're still not kind of, so now we've got a lever that sits up a little bit more like it should. It still doesn't seem to be completely right. So there is just some, oh good gracious. There is something about how, maybe if I put this down and just zoom the camera in. There is something about how this is sitting in here that just isn't right. So get the reference machine out. All right. So I can see this as well. So straight away, we can see that. There is, hopefully this is picked up on camera. So this little linkage here, so it has a screw here, which is on the other machine, that's good. But it's also sitting in under the paper barrel. Let's lift the paper barrel. So there's a screw here that bolts this carriage return onto this little plate here, which is then going to be connected to the winder mechanism. Oh, isn't that interesting? Okay, so these are obviously different ages. Because that's the connection there, but if I pull over the grayish one, it's a very different connection. So that actually, that links just sits into this little plate here. So there's no screw. It just, so that's there. So that winds. Huh, who knows? Who knew? There we go. So maybe there isn't, it still doesn't seem right. It still seems a little bit loose. So maybe it's just the screw is loose. And if I look here, there's actually quite a gap in there. I can fit my whole tool in there. And I think I just need to screw that down. Let's have a look on the other one. Yeah, so if we look, I can't get my tool in there. So let's start by screwing this back together. Okay, so I've tried to screw that in and I'm thinking, yeah, this is great. I'm screwing it in, but then I've pulled the spring out. So I need to do this again. So I just thought I'd turn this over and have a look at the underside. Let's zoom this in. So there is a little, I don't know, some sort of grub screw that rather than a nut that seems to be here. And so this is, I thought that maybe if I took the whole screw out and then I could try and get the spring back in. Okay, so this is the kind of nut part that came out of the bottom of this screw here. So we'll just put that to the side. Okay, so we have it. So these are the two parts of the screw that goes through the carriage return mechanism. There's my spring that's just fallen out. So, okay, so this spring's actually a little bit of a different shape to what's in the red machine. So this part of it is the same here, but in the red machine, this extension, this end, spits out, but then it actually bends back the other way. It doesn't bend forward. So I don't think this spring's been messed with. Like I can't see kind of any plier marks, and this might not show up on camera, but right here you can see where this is the part of the spring that's sat through the hole here, because you can see the wear. Just it's a couple of millimeters wide there. So it must be the original springs come out like that. We just have to get it seated back in. There doesn't appear to be anything on the other one. It looks like it just kind of sits up here, and this little kind of rivet piece here, that seems to be what it catches on the other machine. It sits in here like that. All right, let's try and get this back together. Now, one of the things that's going to be difficult is that I need to get the center of this spring. Oh, let's zoom in. I need to get the center of this spring lined up with the inside of this hole whilst it's under tension. So we've got this the little bent up part of the top end of the spring. Okay, that's where it's about where it's supposed to be. And now I need to jam this somehow back in, because it's a spring. Well, the whole point of it being a carriage return is it's supposed to have tension so it springs back. So this is going to be a little bit tricky, but I've pulled it apart, so I have to put it back together. Okay, so just to proof of concept, I've got the little tool anchoring everything in together. The spring's under tension and it's all fallen apart. But I can do that again, and that's definitely, when I get it back that way, that'll work. All right, this is very much a how you hold your tongue operation, that's for sure. All right, let's see if we can. Ah, bugger. Okay, so what's happened is I'm really proud of myself because I've got everything lined up, and I've got this spring kind of hook in the right spot, but then my other side's fallen out. So I wasn't holding my tongue right. All right, so that appears to work. All right, so that's an early win, which is good, because this, I thought it was just going to be a bit of a clean and fix the keys, but no, it's always more satisfying with a challenge. All right. Excellent. And if we just want to compare that to the red one to make sure, then sounds different. It is a slightly different linkage, but ooh, does that? So these are slightly different. So this one, on the red one, we can see that this bends down and bends up. We can see a little plate in here that makes it do that. I can't see that. I can't see that plate here at a glance. And looking at how this is connected, I don't think whoever's obviously decided to have a go at playing with this machine beforehand and knew SFA about them and didn't Google it on YouTube, because far out, YouTube will teach you everything. It taught me what I know. Then yeah, so maybe this is just in this model, it just, that's where it's sat. So that would probably make sense. One thing I'm going to do is the serial numbers for these, I've noticed, is down here. So I'm just going to have a quick look, sorry, just in here. And I'm just going to have a quick look and see how old this is versus how old the red one is. Okay, so the typewriter database wasn't too revealing. By the time these numbers, like, it gets as high enough on these numbers, it just says like 1960X. So sometime in the 1960, they're both after 1963. This is a newer one than the red one. So this one has a 43 serial number and the red one has a 31 serial number. So yeah, and I do notice that this one has a dollar sign on it, whereas my red one has a pound sign on it. Oh, they're quite different machines. Just quick look, here's the keyboard. This is a 130 keyboard with a dollar sign and no pound key. Whereas the red one is a 239, but has a couple of extra characters. So it's got a dollar and an asterisk and a bajillion fractions. Whereas this one only has a couple of fractions and an at and a cent key. So these were probably sold into different markets. And the red one I know is definitely Australian because I bought it from the son of the person who bought it. This one, I've got no idea. Okay, so we have a carriage return that seems to serve its purpose. I'm just wondering if there were cost reduction measures, which is why this is, because this looks like something where they go, how do we make this cheaper? All right, let's just make it a plate with a linkage rather than two plates and a screw. That I think that's a manufacturing improvement, or an attempt at a manufacturing improvement. So now, so the carriage moves. No, that's not right. So that needs to be sitting up. Otherwise, I get to here and it interferes. Okay, so I have some more thinking to do about this one. Oh, far out. I'm an idiot. Oh, gee, that's embarrassing. I just didn't pull it hard enough. It's been sitting in the down position for so long that I just went, oh, it doesn't come up. But no, there we go. It's bloody fine. So I still needed to fix that spring. I'm like that. I haven't just wasted 20 minutes of my time trying to fix a spring that didn't need fixing. But okay, so now I can move that. That's great. It's all still a bit kind of sticky down here, or I can blow out this side of it. So I'll get my blower back out and just clean out this side. And then I'll see if I can, there we go. So it does advance. I wasn't doing that earlier. All right, so that escapement seems to be working okay. All right. Ooh, let's get some paper. And there's no ribbon in this, as you can see, but let's try a little bit of typing. Okay, so we have a paper stand here. Okay. I've moved the margins in from the sides. They seem to move okay. We'll find out if they work. I have a couple of typewriters where the margins don't work that are sitting in the to be solved pile, but anyway, let's put the paper in. Okay, so it's an almost perfect feed. That's pretty good, actually. We'll look closer at the platen later, but the platen appears to be in good condition, and it means the feed rollers are also in good condition. So, doesn't like that margin. Yep, okay, so I'm going to have to do some playing with the margins because that did not stop. Okay, so this right margin seems to work. Okay, so this one works, this one does not. We should be able to fix that later. All right, let's test the keys and see how it types. Well, how it types. It doesn't type properly yet. We'll test the keys and we're looking for two things. One, that all the keys move. So that's a good start, even if they don't, at this point in time, seat themselves properly. Then we could have a look at whether that's just needs a bit of a clean and a lube or a bigger problem. And I'm also going to look and just see if these ribbon winders work. So if the carriage advances with each keystroke, if the ribbon winder advances with each keystroke, and that each key can actually make it all the way into the platen. So that's what we're looking for. Okay, so they all move, which is good. And if we look, this appears to be the active ribbon winder at the moment. So just to show, I'm going to zoom in. So we can see, we're looking to just see if this lug is moving around. And as I push a key that works, we can see that lug is indeed rotating. And so, good. I don't have to fiddle with the ribbon winder, it looks like. Let's zoom back out. Whoops, wrong way. Now that made a different sound, those last two keystrokes. And suddenly, so the ribbon winder is still advancing, but the carriage isn't, so there is an issue there. We go past it, but it is a little bit of resistance, and the carriage doesn't want to go there without help. So that's another problem we have to fix. Let's try the next row. Okay, and we're still binding there. But what is good about that is all the keys actually work, which means all of the linkages work. They don't all seat to where they should. I'm pretty sure we'll find that's just a cleaning issue. Okay, so that's it for part one of this video. We're finding so many gremlins in this machine that it's just not feasible to have this as a single video with everything fixed. It'd be a couple of hours long and no one would watch it. So we'll leave it at fixing the carriage return for this part. We've tested the keys, and in future videos we will fix the keys and we will also fix the margin returns as well, and anything else that comes up. So thank you very much for joining me here today. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it's been useful, because whilst this is a Princess and it's not the most common machine, something like this fix may very well be transferable to the machine that you're working on at the moment, or indeed a machine that you work on in the future. So please like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great day.